Step 8. Okay, so we have a plan C. I was so excited about the pet show, I almost forgot what day it was. But then I remembered. It was Friday. I only had 3 more days to go back to get the cookie money. I had a lot riding on the pet show. At breakfast, I went outside to get things ready. I found a tin can to put the money in and placed it on the old table in the Greens' backyard. The table had only 3 legs, so Gregory helped me balance it with a stack of magazines. Then I sat down behind the table. Besides, I was running the contest. Tina entered Doofus Doolittle. Her 75 cents were the first coins to drop into the tin can. Lana and Lena stood beside Tina. I wish we'd, started Lena, could have a pet, but Aunt Win added, Lana, doesn't like animals. Not even birds, Lana said. So we'll cheer for Doofus. Doofus Doolittle, finished Lena. Lena took Doofus Doolittle from Tina and hugged him. Amber and Lena were next in line. I knew they thought Snowflake, their cat, was gonna win. I had to admit that Snowflake was a pretty cute cat. Lydia brushed the fur until it was fluffy and beautiful. Lydia tied a lacy pink ribbon around Snowflake's neck. Even so, I didn't think that Snowflake could beat Doofus Doolittle. The prize was for more than just being pretty. It was for personality and talent too. Snowflake is beautiful, but Doofus Doolittle has a good personality. Good luck, I said to Amber. I wish I thought of making 2 first prizes for awards. Betty and Booker were the next kids in line. Betty was carrying her hamsters, Boo and Coo, in their cages. Booker was walking beside her. Aren't they cute? Said Betty with a grin. I hope Bo and Coo win, added Booker. I smiled, even though I really didn't think they had much of a chance. The only thing they could do is run around in their little wheel and drink water from their bottle. But I knew Betty and Booker would be disappointed if their pet didn't win the contest. Why hadn't I made enough prizes for everybody? The Greens were next in line. 5 kids in the big line. I had promised Gregory that they could enter one of their pets for free because the pet show was going to be in their backyard. So I didn't charge him for Casey, his dog. Casey looks like 3 dogs rolled into one. He is long and low to the ground like a dachshund. He has a face like a Cocker Spaniel. He sounds like a German Shepherd when he barks, and he can run fast, even though his legs are short. George was next in line. He was entering Rusty, the Irish setter. Rusty is 15 years old, which is nearly 100 years for people. Mostly, he likes to lie in the sun and sleep. I wish I'd thought of making prizes for the oldest dog. How much prize money is the prize? George asked as he dropped his 75 cents into the can. It's not money, it's a plaque, I said. He looked doubtful. That's not fair. Nobody wants a dumb plaque. Money isn't everything, I said. So what kind of plaque is it, he asked. You'll see if you win, I said. I was starting to get a little worried. When I'd made the prize, I hadn't thought too much about it. What if the winner was disappointed? What if he or she wanted his money back? What if people didn't agree with Candy? Or maybe the Oak Street Pet Show wasn't a terrific idea after all. Grace Green entered her lovebirds, Mitch and Match, who were sitting in their cages. I felt kind of bad when I took their 75 cents. She was sure her birds would win, but I didn't think so. The only thing they could do is coo. I didn't even think if they could fly. But Grace really loved them. Gandy and Goldie, the Greens' cousins from Detroit, were next in line. They entered their goldfish, who they named themselves Gandy and Goldie. I was afraid they had about as much chance of winning the prize as Mitch and Match did. Why had I only made 1 first prize, I asked myself again. Pauline, who is allergic to fur, was next in line. She was holding a bird cage, too. I knew it must be Tweety, Mrs. Pile's bird. Tweety was a canary. He was bright yellow, just like the bird in the cartoon. His cage had a big red bow on top. Tweety is visiting me. Mrs. Pile is letting me take care of him while she's on vacation, Pauline said. She put the cage on the table because it was heavy. She'll be so surprised when Tweety wins the prize. Good luck, I said cheerfully, even though I didn't feel very cheerful. Everybody, even my next to best friend, was going to be disappointed. 5 or 6 kids who had heard about the pet show on the other street bought their pets too. One girl bought a tiny kitten. A boy named Leon bought a green snake. Another kid bought a plastic bowl with colorful fish. Everyone was smiling and happy. Everyone was sure his or her pet would win. I cleared my throat. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first annual Oak Street Pet Show, I said in a loud voice. I said annual because it made it sound official. I'd like to introduce our judge, Candy Keene. Don't you mean Candy Cane? George said. Candy threw him a mean look. It was the first time he'd ever seen Candy give anybody a mean look. George stopped giggling. Candy stood up straight. She's a teenager, but she looks like a real grown-up. Everyone knew she would be fair. Since Booker and Betty were first in line, Candy judged their pet first. Nice pets, she said. She said it as fast as if she really didn't believe it. Betty could tell. He has talent too. Do you want to see Boo's trick? Betty asked. Okay. Candy sounded uncertain. Betty opened the cage and took out the hamster. His trick is when he eats. His cheeks grow really big, she said. She puffed out her cheeks until they were twice as big as they usually are. Give me the carrot, Booker, she said. Booker gave her a carrot. She put it near Boo's mouth. Boo started to nibble it. He nibbled and nibbled until his cheeks were filled with food. That's not a trick. All hamsters and guinea pigs do that, George said. He had to come to the front of the line to see what was going on. Betty ignored him. Hold Boo for a minute, Candy. Then you'll see how cute he is, she said. No, he looks too much like a mouse to me, Candy said. I could tell by the look on Candy's face that she didn't want to hold Boo. But Boo is a hamster, Betty said. She handed Boo to Candy just as Candy threw her hands up. Boo grabbed Candy's blouse with Tiny's claws. Candy screamed. Boo slid down the front of Candy's blouse onto the ground. Betty screamed. Boo scampered away. He ran as fast as his little legs could carry him. That was just about the time when my dream about Oak Street Pet Show turned into a nightmare.